Yo, it's your boy Business, aka the Show Venter. Know what I'm saying? I vent about all your favorite shows and all that. Yo, what the son? Oh my God, bro. I'm about to
Got
lie,
a hole
man.
in your lip, bro.
Alright, man. Like I was saying, bro. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep it going, cause you know what I'm saying, keep going and all that. We're gonna keep going.
There we
You know
go.
what I'm saying? It's your boy Business, aka the Show Venter. I've been about all your favorite shows and all that. BMF, Power Ghost, Power Force, Raising Canaan, Power Ghost, Power Ghost, Power Ghost. That's it. I got a special guest in the building, man. Know what I'm saying? Y'all don't like him and all that. I don't like his ass. He cool in person. He cool in person and all that. You know, I'm trying to show you all that, but yeah, we not jacking him and all that. But Trace Weston, you know what I'm saying?
What's up, y'all?
But his real name is Cory Jeacoma. You know what I'm saying?
Baby.
Household name.
That's right.
What's up, my boy?
What's up, baby?
How you feeling, man? How
I'm
you
good.
feeling?
Do you want me to pour this on myself just to like make you feel better?
Nah, the shirt is fire.
All right,
The shirt is
thank
fire.
you,
We're
thank you,
gonna let the
bro.
shirt live and all that with the hat and all that. You get what I'm trying to show you?
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Fair.
I bet. So you grew up on Long Island?
Yeah, man. I was born in Long Island, raised in Florida. Like moved there when I was like 10 years old. But New York was like always home. You know, I've been here most of my life. So I consider myself a New Yorker, you know?
Definitely. But so you be eating like a lot of pizza out here?
Hell yeah, man.
Huh?
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. What's your favorite pizza?
Scars is fire, dude.
What?
Downtown.
What, in the city?
Yeah, downtown Manhattan.
Dope.
I love that spot. I'm a sucker for dollar pizza, man.
Yeah.
I'm a cheap bastard, so like whatever.
Yeah.
I'll get me some dollar pizza any day.
No, dollar pizza be hitting, man.
Yeah,
Definitely,
man.
Word. I used to throw parties in New York City like for a while.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and after the party, always get to find a dollar pizza.
Yeah, you're drunk,
Every
just
time.
stumbling into a dollar pizza. There's like a line out the door at 4 in the morning. You're like, what are we doing?
Nah, in fact, you gotta get your good 3 slices, good
Yeah,
3-4
bro.
slices. You know
Pour
what
some
I'm
hot sauce on there, and
Uh-huh.
a little garlic powder, done.
I'm telling you though.
Yeah,
for
man.
sure though. But yeah, so like, tell us about your first time acting. Like, how did you get into acting? Like, you know what I'm saying? First type of. Like,
So the first thing I ever did, I did my 5th grade talent show.
Wow.
Like I was a kid, dude. And so I sang Sugar Pie Honey Bunch because I'm a singer also.
Yeah.
And so I did Sugar Pie Honey Bunch in my 5th grade talent show, and like the woman like presenting and everything, she had cards like this, and she was like, so 5th grader Cory Jeacoma, when asked why he did the 5th grade talent show, his answer was, I really like singing and I wonder if people enjoy listening to me sing. And I think they enjoyed listening to me sing. And so from then on, I just kept doing it. And then I started doing like theater and stuff because I started as a theater actor, stage actor. And
Fire.
yeah, man. And so I started doing that and more. And then like it was, you know, like that I couldn't get enough of it. You know, I would get out of school and go to the community theater and like go to the practice rooms, play around on the piano and like,
Nice.
you know, practice singing, practice monologues, practice scenes, doing shows and all that sort of shit. And then when I moved to New York to go to school, it was like, I had no clue that you could make I knew you could make a career out of it. I knew that you could be a famous actor, but I didn't know that like you could make a living, you know, just like on Broadway or you know, doing TV and film and stuff like that. If you weren't Brad Pitt, you know, I was like, oh wait, I don't have to be McConaughey in order to like make a living. And you know, I was a terrible student. You know, like I wasn't terrible, you know, but like I wasn't great.
Yeah.
And so there was like a slim chance of me going to higher education, you know, outside of acting and everything. But then when I found out that you could get like scholarships and all that sort of shit for acting, like these D1 athletes are doing, I was like, that might be my meal ticket. And then it happened, and then I moved to New York, and then friends of mine started booking TV shows and Broadway shows and stuff, and I was like, oh, it's attainable. Like it's, you know, like when you see someone that close to you doing the thing that you want to do, you're like, oh, maybe I can do this.
Right.
And then it just like, the ball just kept rolling, and I've been fortunate since, and let's hope it keeps going.
I know.
Yeah, man.
Keep going.
Yeah, baby.
Keep going.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you already know, man. Cory Jeacoma, he just got his shirt.
Uh-huh.
So what you need to do is go
Be
get
rocking
your
that
shirt.
shit. Gonna be rocking that shit quick.
Of course. You can go to businessandco.store. Again, businessandco.store. Go tap in. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be the biggest in the world soon and all that. So get on it now.
That's right.
But yeah, so as you was talking about the journey to acting, you said you do music too.
Yeah, man.
So you play instruments and all that. Like Trace is mad talented, bro. Like I
Yes.
don't like him, but yeah, like off the camera.
You know what can I say? I don't want to brag or nothing. I just try to keep busy, man, because I love this shit so much. I love acting. I love performing. I love entertaining. Like I really pride myself on being an entertainer. Like I don't consider myself just an actor or just a musician. Like I want to do it all. Like maybe I'm not the best dancer, but that's all right.
Right. It's crazy that you say that too, because I don't call myself a comedian. I call myself an entertainer.
Yeah.
So like, just like I'm like it's broad. Like it's not just you know what I'm saying, videos, like podcasts, merch, like you know what I'm saying. Like I want to see myself in commercials, probably TV shows, movies, and all that. Cause I feel like I got like the camera, like when the camera turn on, I turn on. So
exactly.
Yeah, and it's just me. So
the world's a stage, right?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, man. I didn't say that. That's Shakespeare.
Okay. All right. You could have took credit a little bit.
Yeah. Imagine if I was like, I made that shit up. William Shakespeare, who? Never heard of him.
The world is your stage. That's hard.
The world is a stage, man.
That's hard, man.
Yeah, man.
Definitely. So we want to talk about your Broadway debut on Beautiful.
Yeah, man. Beautiful, the Carole King musical.
Yep.
Yep. I love that show, man.
That was big for you, like a big part of your career.
Bro. Because I did Jersey Boys for a while. I did that for like 2 years, and I did that on tour, and I did that in New York for a year. But that was the off-Broadway production, and that really because I was still wet behind the ears with all of that. I was still learning. I was still sort of like refining my craft.
Yeah.
But then Beautiful was for anyone who doesn't know, it's a musical about the artist Carole King, and who wrote some of the biggest hits of the that generation. It collaborated a bunch with James Taylor and all of these like big artists that were around back then, the Shirelles and all that, and so I got to play her husband, and in that show. I'm always playing the fucking bad guy. Man.
Oh man!
And in that show, I always say he's not a bad guy. Like Jerry Goffin was not a bad guy. He was deeply ill. Like he had mental health issues. He had bipolar and manic depression, and so tapping into that was really, really hard. And a thing a lot of people don't realize is with Broadway shows, you're doing 8 shows a week. So I'm having these in the show having mental breakdowns every single night, sometimes twice a day. It's exhausting, man.
Yeah.
And learning to really tighten that up and not hurt yourself, because if you're having to go there every night, it takes its toll on you.
Yeah.
And so really having to find ways out of it and not bringing that home with me, and it made me a better actor, it made me a better performer, a more responsible actor. More empathetic, because doing research on mental health and everything, because the last thing I wanted to do is make it a caricature of mental health. I wanted to play it truthfully and honestly, and I think I did it.
Right. And help other people that's going through that.
Yeah, man.
Definitely.
Yeah, that was one of the best compliments I got was a girl who dealt with some of the same mental health issues that he dealt with. Came up to me after the show and was like, "Thank you for not making a caricature of mental health."
Like a joke about it.
Yeah, she was like, "Thank you for playing it truthfully," and I was like, "That's all I can ask for."
Yeah,
is to be playing it truthfully.
Definitely, yeah, because a lot of when you act in period, you could have an influence on people.
Yeah,
people are watching it. Some people going through those things, and they could really tap into it.
Yeah, we got a responsibility as actors to play things truthfully and to show, to hold the mirror to society and show them a bit of themselves and make people think and or make people just forget and escape for a little bit. It depends on the product you're selling.
Yeah, heavy on the second one. Forget about
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you're going through something and you turn on Ghost and Trace is doing
Yeah.
bullshit. And like, and you're like, yeah, like, all right,
Yeah, man.
I'm
Exactly.
not even thinking about that right now. Like, they gotta get Trace. They gotta get him. Like,
Exactly. Yeah. Just the united hatred for Trace is what keeps us going.
Yeah. Nah, definitely, man. But you're a good guy in person, though.
Thank you, man.
The real you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's always my line. Whenever people whenever see me on the street and they're like, "Are you that guy from Power? You're Trace." And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "I swear I'm a nice guy. I swear I'm not a dick in real life." It's always what I say.
Nah, for sure. So you mentioned Jersey Boys. So tell us about that.
Oh, bro, that was a dream role of mine. Dream show, dream role. I had seen the show 7 times before I got an audition for it. It was always something that I wanted to do, and it was like a personal, venture for me because, like, my dad grew up on Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons and the band that the show's about, and it's also about like Italians and the mafia, which like I love all of that. Like I love that world. Okay. I'm dying to do like a mafia film. Anyone watching?
Yeah.
I want to do a mafia film.
Tap in, casting directors and all
that's
that.
right.
Yeah. Hit them up.
And so I I got like custom tailored suits for the show, and they tailored them to me.
Nice.
And I was like fresh out of college too, so I had so much to learn, and I got to tour with it. So I got to like see the United States and like get paid to travel the United States and I was like, the show, it's one of the biggest shows that's ever been on Broadway. It ran for 12 years. And so to do that throughout the country in these houses that are like we played a 12,000 seat house once. It's like, or
sold
no,
out.
7,000 seats. Yeah. In Kansas City. It's called Kansas City Starlight. It's an outdoor amphitheater. And that was just real quick to go off track. There was one show that we were doing where the finale of the show is where Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons are inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Wow. And so they go, please welcome to the stage, the original Four Seasons. And then we come downstage and the lights hit us and all this stuff. And since it was outdoors, we're doing the show and the storm's coming. And so we start walking downstage as like the audience is clapping for us. These lights are hitting us. And in the distance, over 7,000 people's heads, you just see lightning bolts just shooting across the sky. As I'm walking downstage, like holding a microphone, like singing this song, being like, I feel like a fucking rock star right now.
That's
it was the coolest thing, man. Yeah, but yeah, no, getting to do that show was a dream. Like before I got the audition, I saw the show 7 times, and I remember the year before I got the show. I took my mom for her birthday to go see the show when it was on Broadway, and I'm sitting next to her, and the character I played, Bob Gaudio, he walks out, and I like nudged my mom, and I was like, "That's my dream role." That's my dream role. And a year later, I was playing it on tour, and then doing it off Broadway. And
it's crazy.
Yeah, man, it was really cool.
What your father said about that? Cause you said you grew up on that.
Yeah,
I know he was happy.
Well, dude, he was happy as hell, and his brothers used to. So do you know the song Sherry, where it's like Sherry, baby. Yeah. And it's like kind of like annoying and like pingy, and so his brothers used to like sing it and like poke fun at him, and he like as a kid he would like cry and be like, "Shut up, stop, leave me alone." And so when he came to see the show, and we were singing the song in the show, my dad goes, he goes, "That song made me cry again, but for a different reason this time." And I was like,
that's
man, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Nah, definitely when your family starts to see it, like you see your dreams come true and all that, that's a different feeling.
And also like an Italian family seeing this show about like these Italian boys who came from the streets and like grew up to like, superstardom.
Right.
It was like, there was a lot of pride there.
Definitely, yeah. It was definitely proud.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I want to talk about like the comparison between Broadway and TV. So I know Broadway, like it's on a different level because you can't, like it's no cut.
No cut.
So you gotta just
it's the ball just rolls, dude.
Yeah.
Once the ball starts, you can't stop it. Like no matter what happens, you just gotta keep it going.
Yeah.
It's cool, man. It's a really special thing, live theater.
So like, did that prepare you like a lot before you started doing like TV shows and things like that? different movies?
It did in ways, and then it also was a challenge in other ways. You know, it taught me discipline because, you know, like I said, doing 8 shows a week.
Right.
And, you know, like if you call out, you know, you have understudies and stuff that are able to go on for you. But, you know, discipline in terms of like showing up, having your shit memorized and worked on and worked through and all of that. And also being able to like leave your baggage at the door. You know, if you're having a shitty day and you have to come show up to work and do a show, and you know 1,500 people in the house, and half of them it's their first time seeing a show. You don't want to cheat them of that experience, so you have to really just leave your ego at the door and, you know, do the work at hand. But you know, also the hard part is like you're playing to a huge house.
Yeah.
So you're trying to hit the back wall with your choices. You know, there's nothing subtle about it.
Right.
And so having to find that the same level of commitment and everything, but pulling it back for a camera that's like locked in on you, that picks up every single detail, every twitch, every, you know, like there are times on camera where like you'll see a character. Did you ever watch Severance?
Severance? What is that about?
It's on Apple Plus. It's honestly way too deep to even get into. There's one character who she has this scene where she's looking at this guy and she's evil, but the audience knows she's evil, but the character she's talking to doesn't. And she like looks at the guy and she locks in on him and she's smiling and she just holds the smile and she doesn't change her face. But something inside changes and it looks like she's about to murder him, even though she's literally just like, and doesn't change anything, doesn't move a muscle, but like it's almost like this like shadow comes over her and you're like, oh, she's about to go crazy,
like a dark cloud or something.
It's and that's what a camera can pick up. Like the camera picks up the things that are like internal that an actor can do. You know, I've heard stories about Pacino being on set and, you know, like the director coming up to him being like, hey, it needs to be a little bit more of this. And Pacino being like, okay, I did that. And he's like, okay, let me look. And goes back to Video Village and he watches the playback. And it was something that like he didn't see in person, but on camera it caught. Because Pacino just like knew what he was doing that well, because he can internalize that and he trusts that the camera's going to pick it up.
Yeah.
So I think that it's like trusting that you are our next level of the audience. Okay. You know, like we're doing a scene, but there's also, you know, other scene partners involved.
It's like the little things, but it's like big things too.
Yeah.
Like just the details, like attention to detail.
It's really, really cool. And you know, pulling back the performance, because you're not having to like waka waka, you know, like perform to the you know, thousands of people. Yeah. You're performing here. It's all about the connection and listening and all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
like I feel like even if you listening to like, so like if it's like a scene with you and Gianni and you waiting to speak, but he's speaking to you, like the way your movements is, they picking up the movements, like how like your actions, so all that stuff matter.
And that too of like sometimes the hardest acting, for me at least, is like when you're not speaking. It's the listening, because like when you're in person, you know, like I think on camera when you're doing a scene and like you're talking and I'm listening and I know that there's a camera on me, it's like in person, like when you're walking down the street talking to someone, you're not sitting there being like, you know, it's like you're not like making all these faces. You're just listening.
You're just there.
But there's like this weird impulse that a lot of actors have to like show that they're listening, and so it's like holding that back and be like, just listen. It's not that deep.
Right. Yeah. It's in different situations. Like sometimes you gotta be, but then other situations you gotta just chill. Like
you gotta just chill and just like close your mouth and breathe through your nose.
Nah, definitely. So I want to get into CW 4400.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that was big for you, man. Big part of your career.
I had a blast with that, man.
Logan. Man.
Yeah, Logan Kaminsky, baby. Yeah, man, that was a fun show, and like it gone too soon. We ran for one season, and and then got canceled after one season. But like the people who loved it, loved it. The people who didn't. Unfortunately, there were a lot of haters because we were a reboot of the original.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And people who loved the original loved the original.
Loved the original.
They were like, I'm not going to give this a chance. And so like we dealt with a lot of that. But the cast was incredible. Some really, really phenomenal actors, some great writers, some great producers on it. And like it's funny like going from Power, which is a Stars show, which is like a premium channel, like tits and ass every other episode, going to like CW where like you can't even say hell, you know? It's like it's like it was a different world. Because like in Power, I'll get the script and it'll be, you know, the line will just be like, hey man, how you doing today? And just because I like Trace, like I have his mouth now, I'm like, hey, how the fuck are you doing? You know, I just throw fuck in here and there. And sorry, I'm cursing like a sailor. I don't know.
No, you're good.
And so like being on the CW, I'm having to like really bite my tongue and not say what I want to say.
I know. So you was leaving Ghost to go to CW, then you had to like.
Yeah, man. I had to like wash my tongue off. You know, like it was a different experience, and it was also different because I was playing. So the show, for anyone who doesn't know, is it's like a time travel show. So it's about these people get abducted and then they're returned today. So I think like the time period we were dealing with was like early 2000s, and they disappear and then they return in 2021 or 2022. I forget what year. And so you meet me in the early 2000s when I was like 25, but then 20 years go by. And so then I was playing 40. So like they like put this like age makeup on me, like they would like stretch my skin out and put like this like almost like glue that when it dries it like shrinks and like gives you wrinkles and stuff. They put like a little gray in my hair and all that, like put the lines around here and on my forehead and everything. But that it was like being on Power, playing like a college kid as Trace, you know, who's like, fuck this, and then going and doing this. And I was playing a father where I'm like, listen now. Like, like two different worlds. It was hilarious, man.
I actually seen somebody, I think one of your fans, there was like the acting range was crazy, like between you and Ghost and in CW 4400.
It was very different, to say the least. Honestly, like for anyone who knows Stars and anyone who knows the CW, I think that just the difference in networks alone just shows the difference in the character and the difference in just, you know, what it is. You know, it was like it was fun, man. I had a good time.
That's dope, man. That's dope, man. Let's get into Power Ghost, man.
What's this?
Huh? Yeah, all right. Don't let them.
I'm about to get fired for that.
Yeah, let them let you hear that. So yeah, Power Ghost, man, the best shit on TV right now.
Oh, it's
not gonna lie.
Man, I pinch myself every day. I'm like, I'm on that shit. That's so cool. That is so cool.
So how did that start? Like, take us through like how it started, like from the beginning, like the audition process and all that.
So to go back to Beautiful, I was doing Beautiful on Broadway, and it was so when I got Beautiful, I got it in like May of 2019, and then the summer went by, and I wasn't gonna make my debut in the show until September. They like hired me like very early, and then halfway through the summer, they announced the show was closing. And I was like, I haven't even gotten to fucking do it yet.
Right,
I was like, wait, hold on. And so, but they were like, we still want you to close out the show. You know, like you're gonna join and you'll do it the last 2 months. So in my head, I'm like, cool, but damn, like I'm gonna like get a taste of it and then it's gonna go away.
Yeah.
And then, but something that I didn't know of, and it's the biggest blessing that I've ever gotten, is I didn't realize like when you do a show in its closing weeks, that's when everyone wants to go because they're like, oh, it's closing. So luckily, and a lot of industry professionals who haven't gone to see it, you know, because Beautiful was on Broadway for 5 years, I think. And so a lot of people were like, I'll get around to it. You know, it's not
Right.
going anywhere. I'll go see it next year.
This was the last call, right? Like the last.
Yeah, this was the last 2 months of it. So finally, now that they know it's closing, everyone was like, damn, we should go see Beautiful. And so the casting director for Power at the time came to see it. And I guess he saw me and was like, this guy kind of looks like Gianni Paolo. And he was like, hey, he's a good actor, you know, all right.
Yeah.
And that show, you know, I had a lot of range in it. You know, I had to be a bit of a dick, but I also had to be a little bit like, you know, charming. I had to have the manic depression episodes and then, you know, freaking out and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And so he was like, all right. And he was like, let's call him in. So I get an appointment for it, and it was like the breakdown of Trace was like water polo bro, and like you know a typical frat boy and all this shit.
That was spot on.
Yeah, and I've always said, like, I was like, if I had the chance to join a fraternity, I wouldn't. Like, it's just not me. Like, I don't want to like listen to anyone else. Like, if someone's like, you gotta butt chug this, I'm gonna be like, no, what the fuck? And so I, you know, when I got that appointment, I was like, all right, obviously I'll go in for it.
Of course, yeah.
But at the time I had heard of the show, but I had never watched it. So I walk into the audition studio, and there are, when I tell you like frat boys, like it was like, they were like all wearing polos, like white collars, you know, hair slicked and all this. And I walked in like wearing my best version of a frat boy, and they were like, you know, I saw like guys that like looked like Abercrombie models. I was like, it's gonna be this kid. But then I walked in and I did the audition, and I like threw in a little bit of improv, you know, like where
Trace shit.
Yeah, Trace shit. You know, the shit that is now Trace shit. You know, like a lot of the like the ooh, you know, where like I'm like making fun of him, you know, like, while he's talking, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, rated.
Yeah, like all that shit. And the reason I do that is because like I'm a big brother too. Like I'm the middle of three boys, so I've got an older brother and a younger brother. And when I was younger and my younger brother was a kid, I was such a dick. Like I would be so mean to him. And so like a lot of the Trace-isms are like what I did as a big brother.
Trace-ism, that's
yeah,
good.
the Trace-isms.
Got it.
But yeah, I did the scene. It was the scene where I punched the cop.
Okay.
And you know the first scene where you meet Trace, and so like I threw in like some stuff, you know, and they liked it, and the casting director, and we finished, and the casting director was like, "So where are you from?" And just like started talking to me, and I was like, "What does this mean? Like, why do you want to know where I'm from?" Like, you know, it's like, but it ended up like loosening me up so much, like being able to just talk for a sec in the room and show them who I was, and then like a week later, I found out that I got it. I was like, "What?" I was like, I had honestly, I walked out of there being like, "That was cool." The casting director was really nice,
right?
But I don't think I'm gonna get it. And then I found out I got it, and the funny thing was that was the last week of Beautiful. The show was about to close. I was about to be unemployed. I was like freaking out. I was like, because I had just done Jersey Boys for 2 years, so I like had that security. I was like, all right, I'm making money. I know what I'm doing. I know this, that, and everything. I left that. I got Beautiful, so I was like, great. I'll be on Broadway for forever. And then they announced it's closing. So then I do that for 2 months, and I'm like, all right, what are we gonna do, Jeacoma? Like, you know, we got 2 months left. Got 1 month left, got 2 weeks left, and then it was the last week, and I remember talking to my friend in the dressing room and being like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, dude. Like I've never been, you know, like I've never had something lined up. Yeah, like I've never been out of a job. I've never not had something lined up. And he was like, you'll be fine. And then like a week later, he comes into my dressing room and he's like, so how you feeling? Like, I know you were like stressing out last week. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna be on Power. and he was like, what? And then when I found out I got it, then I started watching the show.
Yeah, it's crazy. You started watching the show afterwards.
Bro.
It was like, damn, this is fire.
I was like, I'm gonna be on the coolest fucking show on television. I was like, man, it was just like, I plowed through all 6 seasons of the original Power like in a week and a half. I locked myself in my living room and
That's like
just
60-something episodes.
yeah, bro.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And like I had just gotten my dog, and so like my dog, like I was like training her as I'm like watching Omari like chop people up. I was like,
Yeah.
Jesse, sit. Like, it was cool, man.
Who's your favorite character in that?
In the original? It's gotta be Tommy.
Oh,
he's the man.
Joseph Sikora.
He's the man, dude.
Definitely.
And the crazy thing was, I had seen him in a bunch of stuff, but I wasn't familiar with his work. Like he was in Shutter Island, and then after Power, he was in Ozark.
Yeah.
And that was a show that I was already into and already watching a ton of. And then I finished Power, and then they announced that like Joseph Sikora is gonna be on Ozark. I was like, that's so like it seemed like my world was sort of like closing in on Power. It was like it was basically being like, you gotta watch this. You know? Like the universe was a fan of the show too. It was cool.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
Yeah, man.
Well, I want to get into season 1, episode 6.
Oh yeah, my favorite episode.
Your favorite episode?
Yeah, dude. That was like that episode was the best, man.
That was a real introduction, though.
Oh my god, dude.
Man. Kane pulled up, but just take us through that, man. That scene was tough.
Dude, that scene was tough, and like it was a great scene, but it was also tough because we were filming that in like dead of winter, and we were filming that in like the Bronx, like in like a not great area.
In the trenches.
Yeah, like we were in the trenches, and like you got Gianni like busting jokes and stuff, and we're like, Gianni, you might want to stop. Like, and so then like I remember, you know, like concrete's concrete, but when it's cold concrete, it's somehow harder. And so like when they're like busting the bottle over my head and shit, and I'm like dropping to my knee and like hitting my knee, and I had like knee pads and stuff on, but like my body was wrecked after that. And it's a breakaway bottle, so it's like very thin. It's made of like sugar, so like when it breaks, it like breaks very easily. But even if, you know, someone hits you on the head with like a toilet paper tube, like they hit you over and over and over again.
Hurt.
You start getting like, you're like, okay, you can stop that. You know, it's not like you're like, hit me again, bartender. You know, like it sort of takes its toll. And so, you know, we did that like probably, I think we used like 6 bottles.
Wow.
And you know, they're hitting me, and they weren't hitting me hard because they were all stunt guys, and they were all great stunt guys, and really like checked in on me and made sure.
When you was on the corner.
When I was on the corner selling and everything. And you know, I'm talking exclusively about me getting my shit kicked. And so like I had like this whole like, you know, like a guard right here that was covering my ribs and stuff because they're hitting me in the ribs. And, you know, we had like a whole session days before where we choreographed the fight and practiced the breaking and practiced the hits and me dropping and all that stuff. And the hardest part was we were doing it all in slow motion. So when you're hit, you know, like someone hits you with a bottle, you react and you're like, ah, that hurts. Mm-hmm. But when it's in slow motion, if they break the bottle and then you react, it would look like this. It would be like bottle breaks, ow. And so it would look fake almost. So I had to anticipate the break.
So you have to react right when they hit you?
Yeah, so it was like as I heard him swinging it, I had to react, because then as soon as the bottle hits my head in slow motion, then you see the reaction. So it was like a lot of timing stuff, and then like a lot of like the reactions, like when they hit me in the ribs, I had to like carry the fall and, you know, fall to the ground and all that stuff. And then on top of that, thinking camera's rolling, all right, I have to make it look good too. It can't just be like me being like, you know, it was like I had to like do like specific things. And Eve Rivera, who directed that episode, was like
best director ever, man.
Dude,
best one.
Shout out to Eve. Like,
shout out to Eve Rivera.
He really is like, he's the man. And he like made sure everything was kosher and that everyone was all right. The stunt guys were constantly checking in with me, and you know, by the end of the night, I like needed to pop a couple Advil because I had a headache from the bottles. But yeah, and then like getting to work with Woody, like anytime I'm on set with Woody,
I was gonna ask you about that.
Man, I'm such a fan of that guy. He's so good. He's such a good guy too. Yeah. And like fucking just a stellar actor, man. And like, like he's constantly throwing stuff at you, and like he's also like a trampoline. Like anything you throw, he's bouncing it right back to you. So like, you're just boxing, man. And like, and same with Gianni. Like I'm so lucky that like everyone that I you know interact with on the show, my family, Gianni, Michael, you know, everyone, like they're just quality actors that like like when we show up, we step into the ring and put the gloves on and start boxing. You know, it's cool, man. It's really cool.
You definitely work with some fire actors, man. Woody.
Yeah,
like you said, Woody. He's elite.
Yeah, like
elite.
They're the shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
So like, how is that? Like that whole the whole family like working with the Westons, Gianni, and everybody. Like the Westons really was showing up this season,
bro,
man.
The Weston family, man. and it's hilarious. We've got like a group text thread all the time that like we're obviously like not in character, but like we like play into it a little bit in the text thread. So like, you know, like I'll always like be saying Dickie stuff, and Gianni's always busting my balls, and like Sam's like our sister's always being like, "Can you guys stop?" You know? And our dad's always like, "My boys, I'm so embarrassed by you." Like, it's hilarious, dude.
What about Lucas?
Lucas isn't in there. Lucas isn't in there. Yeah, we disowned him.
Oh yeah.
But
bullshit,
bro. We have a really really good time on set. The whole family's got a great rapport, and like you know, like bringing in Uncle Lucas was just such a plus, and he's a fucking stellar actor too, man. It's like they bring out these heavy hitters, dude.
Yeah.
It's really really cool getting to work with all the people in the show.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
Yeah, man.
I want to take it back to the episode, to season 1, episode 6.
Yeah.
Before they put you on the corner, where Kane pulled up on y'all in the dorm room,
in the dorm
gun
room.
on you.
Oh, dude.
You
so like
shit.
when we did that, they were like, because Gianni and I we wrestle and shit, and like I like shove him and all that stuff. And so like we're having to like constantly do that over and over again, and like a lot of that was like improvised. Like when I tackle him and I go timber and like fall on the ground, like that was all improv. And you know, and he pins the skids, like all that was like improvised and shit. And then Woody comes in and pulls the gun on, and like I don't know about anyone here, but like I've never had a gun pulled on me.
Yeah. And
so I was like, all right, like I'll act. I wasn't acting, like even though it's a fake gun, like it's a real gun, but it's like it's not loaded.
You made it seem real. You did his thing.
Yeah, well, there's something like when you have a heavy metal like gun shoved into your throat. There's not much that you have to do to act that.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah, you went in though.
Yeah, man,
that was the first time that he met y'all. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the first time.
That was the first time that he met. Oh, that was the first time he met Braden too. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause Braden was like how he knew him. He's like, how you know me? Like,
said
something
like
that.
You got my name in your mouth and shit. Yeah. He's like, but I don't fucking know you. And I'm like, what's going on? I was like, you want to table this fucking ghetto bullshit? And he's like, okay, pop. I was like,
Yeah, that was crazy, man.
Man.
And then another thing too, the episode with when y'all was with Ramirez.
Oh yeah, in the back.
Yeah, still talking. You like, Trace, just act like nothing happened, okay?
Yeah, bro. You know what? I've come to find like Trace is really like the human punching bag of the show.
Yeah.
Like, he's always getting his shit kicked. He's always being like, Braden's always like, shut the fuck up, Trace.
Yeah.
Like, always.
He said that like 1,000 times already.
Honestly, that would be a funny someone out there make a compilation of all the times Braden tells Trace to shut the fuck up. That would be hilarious.
All the Power fans out there, I make all the other videos. Make sure y'all do that, man.
That would be
hilarious. Said it mad times though.
Oh yeah, dude. Like every episode, he's like,
Trace, shut
the
up.
fuck up, Trace. He's like, my brother's such a dick.
It's crazy that you say that because I'm about to go into another time. I think this is like one of your biggest episodes too. Season 2, episode 9.
Oh, the rat.
Yeah, that's when I did the video. That's when I did the video on you, man.
Yeah, man. That episode. When I got the script for that, like, I don't think that I realized just how big of an Trace was making. Like, I was like reading it and I was like, all right, you know, like I offer up information. I was like, okay, you know, he's talking to the district attorney.
Jenny.
Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, great. But then like the episode dropped, and I was getting like threats in my DMs. I was walking down the street and people were like, fucking rat. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, what are you doing? Like, I'm not the character.
Nah, facts, bro. I was tight, man. I'm not gonna lie. When you was doing, I was mad.
Yeah,
that's why I did the video. You remember
oh,
the
dude,
video?
I remember that. That was my introduction to you.
And you was like, you used that as your alarm clock going to set.
Yeah.
Nah, bro. I was like, yo, Trey, shut up. So what are you doing? Nobody didn't ask you that. Like, yo, nah, go through that scene though. Go through that scene, like, how it was.
Yeah.
Like,
well, like, basically, you know, because they had like the pictures and stuff, and like, if I recall correctly, because there was another scene that was actually cut that our mom was in. I forget exactly what happened, but it was like we were discussing it with the lawyer, with our dad, the lawyer, and our mom. I think I don't remember exactly, but there was a scene where we're talking about it, and the lawyer is like being like, you know, you guys need to like think about what you're gonna say, and basically like prompting us to be like, Trace, don't say something fucking stupid.
Oh, okay.
And then the scene that ended up making it in was like the second part of that scene where Jenny comes in and is grilling us a little bit, and Braden's you know.
Yeah, he's standing tall. He's not trying to
switch
switch on Tariq.
He's concrete, and I'm folding quick. Yeah. Well, it's just like it's perfectly written, because it's like Trace doesn't take anything seriously.
Nothing.
He's a rich, privileged fucking dick that like thinks he's invincible because he's got, you know, daddy's like golden pacifier.
Right.
And so he's like, I'm invincible. There was another scene that was cut. That was after all of that. After I threatened a rat.
Yeah.
And Gianni did such beautiful work on this scene. We were in Braden's childhood bedroom.
Okay.
And Braden's in there, and I like come into his room and like say some Trace shit. And
Tracism.
He's like, some Tracism. And he's like, hey man, he was like, you realize that like what you did like can get us killed. And Trace, and like my line was literally something like, what are you worried about? Like, the police will protect me. It was like,
okay.
It was some shit like that where he was like, do you realize what you did? Where it's like, you're fucking with some really dangerous people. And I'm like, I'm fine, dude. What are they gonna fucking do? Like, I'll hire a bodyguard. I'll like the police. I'll call the police. Like, I'm not worried. And you know, like we have this like exchange, and it shows a moment where Braden was like trying to protect his brother, and Trace is just like, he's like, fuck you, dude. And I walk out, and then Gianni had this moment where he like walks around his room, and it shows this moment where Braden's sort of in over his head, and he like picked up a baby picture of himself, and the camera like was over his shoulder, like looking at the baby picture, and it shows this moment of like Braden looking at what he was and the man he is now, and like then he like punches the picture, and like the glass breaks, and like that's the end of the scene, and like Gianni's like crying as he's doing it, basically like almost like killing the innocent version of himself. Wow. It was a gorgeous scene. I really wish that it made it in, but
that's heavy.
Man, it was really cool.
I can picture that right now. That's good.
Man.
Yeah. That will actually kind of be good now though, because his character is changing now.
Maybe they'll do it. I don't know.
Yeah, he's not innocent Raiden no more. He catching bodies now.
No, dude, not innocent at all.
He threw Lucas' ass off the balcony. He deserved that shit.
I really thought I was gonna be Braden's first body.
For real?
Yeah, part of me was like, after the whole rat thing. I was like,
you could see that, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, he's gonna have to shut him up, and like, what better way to show Braden's commitment to Tariq than to like have to betray his own family? But we want to keep Trace around.
No, we gotta keep Trace around. We gotta keep Trace around. But that's a good point though, cause Tariq killed his own father. So
exactly, and that was my mentality.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, every season when I find out I'm not dead, I like come up with a way that they're gonna kill me, and then they don't. And then I'm like, all right, sick. We made it through another one.
You gotta make it through, man. Season 4, man, we gotta up it. Trace gotta up it.
I agree.
Yeah, Trace gotta up it with the scenes and all that. We need you in there more.
Yeah, man. The
sure.
comedic relief.
For sure. Yeah. Nah, that's funny, man. Definitely. So like, I want to get into that scene, the finale. I just did that video on you and all that.
Oh yeah.
That scene was funny, man.
Where Kane comes in and everything. Dude,
the Westerns.
Once again, Woody just like anything he throws at me is like, it's gold, dude. And like, and there was also so much improvised and shit. Like Mary was improvised. Like she's like, a nice fucking house. Like all that shit was like, that was like improvised and shit. And like that whole process for the downfall of the Weston family was like, we shot pretty much all of those scenes like in a week, I want to say. Like the scene where I'm like, yeah, Uncle Lucas fucking drained the accounts and all this shit.
Oh yeah.
Like I think that was one episode, and then the finale was right at like there was 1 week where we were shooting that, and then the week after we were shooting the episode where Monet and Kane come in. And so it was nice to like have the repetition and to like be with the family and it felt like home, you know, like we have the living room, and like since we were just shooting there, like it felt like we were like sunk
comfortable.
In. Yeah, we were comfy.
Yeah.
And we're also so comfortable with each other that it was easy, honestly. And like we have such a good time on set. And then for Kane and Monet to come in and sort of like interject and like interrupt the like sweet family time we're having.
I know.
You know, it was a lot of fun, man.
That scene was fire, man, because I think they played some music when they walked in too.
Yeah.
And it just changed. Like it got dark when they came in.
Well, because you've got these like rich fucking assholes, you know, that like that their uncle and brother just died.
Right.
But none of them know that besides Braden, and they're all like, "Where is he?" Or no, they do know that. They know that he's dead. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, like
But they don't know Braden killed him.
Yeah, but they don't know Braden killed him. And that was improvised too. Like there was the scene where when Becca says, she's like, "What? You guys are so selfish. Like, we have to go to. What about Uncle Lucas's funeral? Like, are we gonna have a wake?" And the line was like, it was like, nobody's gonna go to that. But then I was like, oh yeah, who's gonna go to? No one's gonna fucking go to that.
That was funny. That was funny.
But like, it's just we have such a good time, man. We really do.
Yeah,
we're lucky.
Nah, that's dope, man. Like y'all really like you could just tell, like y'all get along and everything.
Yeah, and we get along in the familial sense of like bickering and butting heads and Gianni's so good at like conducting that in a way like where he's like always throwing jabs at us, always like. We're all just making fun of each other nonstop. It's like it really is like we're like 5 comedians, you know, like Jeff, Sam, Angel, Gianni, and myself. Like we're all just like throwing lobs and just like hitting them out of the park every time. It's fun, man.
Nah, it makes sense though. That's why it's so much improv.
Yeah,
and it's just natural because you just bouncing shit over.
Yeah, and like we stick to the script, but like every scene, I would say like someone adds a little thing. You know, that's like specific to their character.
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
But one thing though, definitely don't invest your money in Western Holdings, man. I'm telling you, you're gonna lose everything with the Ponzi scheme.
Really, dude? You gotta put me on like that? Come on, man.
I'm telling you, you're trying to get your money up. Don't put it over there. Man, I'm telling you.
Damn, yeah. I'm really curious to see like Trace working at Trader Joe's or some shit. Like fucking bagging groceries, being like, this fucking sucks, man.
Nah, it's crazy that you say that though. I'm gonna ask you. It just came to me. But how do you want Trace to be like I know y'all shooting it, like season 4 is coming, but
Yeah.
how, like, your dream scenario where you want Trace to end up at?
Oh man.
And all that, you know what I'm saying?
Dude, I have so many, like, you know, like fan fiction. I have a million fan fiction stories in my head that, like, I don't even know, like, what I can even say, because, like, I don't know, because honestly, there are parts of season 4 that, like, I haven't even read yet.
Oh, got you.
So, like,
yeah, that's true.
So I gotta be a little careful.
Nah, for sure. Yeah. Nah.
But no, I really want to, like I said, I want to see the downfall. I want to see the fall from grace and see how they handle it, and how maybe it changes them, maybe it doesn't. You know, like, would Trace maybe be a better person without money? You know, like, money changes people, and so, like, maybe, you know, you see the human. You know, you see like that the money is a facade, that it's all a front to hide his insecurities, to hide, you know, maybe he doesn't feel loved from his parents, or you know, like, all of that sort of shit. That's what I would love to see.
Yeah, like, that's dope though. I was just thinking about it. You can see, like, why you are the way you are.
Yeah. Like maybe when they were younger, like, maybe there's, like, a flashback would be cool, like, to see, you know, Braden and Trace as kids, and, like, maybe something happened where, like, Trace, you know, like, Braden stole something from, like, a grocery store or something, and Trace took the blame, and Braden, you know, because Braden was always wanting to be in the game, and maybe Trace, like, was a big brother in that moment and was like, no, it was me, Dad. And then, like, Trace got his ass kicked or something, you know, like, now Trace is, like, a dick because, you know, like, like the villain origin story kind of thing,
Right.
That I would love to see something like that. That would be cool.
That would be fire. Be fire. So, like, overall, what's your dream role? Like, not Power, but just overall. Like,
it hasn't been written yet.
It hasn't been written yet.
I want something talking about, like, the suits in Jersey Boys tailored to me. I want someone to write something that's my suit. You know?
Yeah.
I would love to do, like, a Marvel superhero.
That would be dope.
I would love to, you know, like, I also, like I said, I want to do a mafia movie. I want to do a war movie, like a Saving Private Ryan kind of thing, Dunkirk.
Like a Godfather, like with
Godfather, like some sort of. It's like the two genres I really want to do is, like, you know, like the Godfather, Goodfellas, you know, Casino, that kind of world.
Yeah.
But then also the Saving Private Ryan, military, you know, shave my head, throw dirt all over my face, and scream about bombs exploding, you know?
Yeah. Nah, it's layers to you. Like,
I want to do it all.
Nah, that's for sure. That's tough.
Yeah, man.
That's tough. But yeah, congrats on season 3, man. You know what I mean, it just ended and all that. I don't know what we're gonna watch now. Like, it's tough out here, man.
There's a lot of good TV out there right now, though. There really is, bro. There really is. I've been watching a ton of Dave, that Lil Dicky show.
Oh,
on FX. It's brilliant, man. It's so good.
Dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, his music is fire too.
It's great, man.
Yeah, definitely. So, what you got, like, going on next? Like, what? Like, I know you shooting season 4, but, like, other than that, like, what you working on? Music?
So music, you know, I'm working on getting into the studio and hopefully dropping an EP of some sort, maybe a full-length album, I'm not really sure, or at the very least some singles. And I'm also, you know, workshopping a bunch of, you know, upcoming Broadway shows, and, you know, trying to just find the next lick. You know what I mean? Because now I'm blessed that I've gotten to do some really, really cool stuff, you know, like stage and screen, and you know, I did a movie back in, like, 2013 or something. But I'm looking for, like, my thing now, you know. It's like I've gotten to do things, and, you know, like, be on Ghost and be on 4400 and be in Beautiful and Jersey Boys and stuff. But I'm really looking forward to when it's my thing, when I'm the guy.
Right.
That's what I'm really looking for.
Yeah, like, you the main guy, like.
Yeah. You know, like, I'm calling the shots. You know?
Nah, that's coming. It's on the way, man.
Yeah, man. I know
it's definitely on the way. So, like, how was like, I know people knew you already from the Broadway and everything, but when Ghost happened, like, when that happened, like, Especially season 3, like after this season 3, like how has it been like walking in New York City? And
it's been cool, man. It's been cool. Yeah, yesterday I was just at a bar, trashed, and someone was like, "Are you that guy from Power?" And I was like, "Yeah." I love it, man. I really do. Like, there's something really special about being recognized for the work that we do.
Yeah.
And it's all love, you know. Like, and I've never had a negative interaction with a fan from the show, or from a fan of any of the shows that I've gotten to do. You know, everyone's been really kind, and even with a character like Trace, that is hateable and hated. You know, there's a love for him because, you know, people love to hate him. It's like the Cooper Sack syndrome. You know, people are like, why isn't he dead? And then he's dead, and now everyone's like, what? You know, it's like people love to hate him. People love the bad guy, and so whenever people say hello and, you know, tell me they enjoy what I do on the show. The other day on the train, this kid walks by. And this was maybe my favorite interaction I've ever had, because it wasn't like, can I get a picture or anything? Like, and I love that too, but this kid walks on with his girlfriend, and he walks past me, and then he slows down as he's walking past me, and I'm just on the train, just on my phone, and he goes, "You're a really good actor on Power," and then he just kept walking, and I was like, "Thanks, man." I was like, that was really cool. And then he just like went about his business, and like just the fact that he wanted to, like, you know, show me some love, I really appreciated it.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Yeah,
it was cool.
Yeah, you don't see that all the time.
No, man.
Yeah, just a picture
and especially like with a character like Trace, like I feel like oftentimes the actors who play the villain don't get a lot of love because there's something about them that seems unapproachable, or people sometimes have a hard time separating the character from the actor.
A lot of times.
So I've experienced that too, but like getting to the point now where people, and also, you know, luckily like stuff like this, and, you know, like I was on The Crew Has It, and like getting to show people Cory, and, you know, as the actor, and you know that I'm not an asshole. Like that's been really, really cool.
No, but if you think about it though, like, you're a villain, but you still got like funny moments though. A lot of funny moments that people like. So it's like they're not like, all right, I just hate him. I hate him. They're saying like, well, also, you hate him, but you know.
Also with every villain, there has to be some sort of. You can't just play a bad guy, because there's nothing interesting about that. It's like there's someone who's hell bent on ending the world. It's like, why? Yeah. But then when you find out that. You know, it's like finding out why the Joker is the Joker. You know, like you find out that he is the way he is because he was abused as a child. He was you know, beaten. He's got the scars to.
Hey, you know why I got these scars?
Like, he wears his trauma. He wears the pain of his past, and he doesn't want a happy ending because he doesn't think that he can have a happy ending. And so someone like Trace, you know, it's like, if you're just playing like just a dick, you know, like that's why it's important for those moments where, like, when he is in his mind trying to do the right thing, when he's like, no, Braden, we should go to the police, we should do this. Like, technically that's the right thing to do.
Right.
In the world of Power, you don't want any of that because you're rooting for Tariq and Braden. But like he there is a moral compass that Trace has. He might be a dicky big brother, and he might like be creepy to women, but like he's not a bad guy. No, he's it's a fun character to play, man. And like the more 3-dimensional you can make a bad guy, the better.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, nah, definitely. You kind of like, it wasn't all bad because like in this season, because you was like in the office a lot.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And like when I like stood up for my brother, I was like, you know, and I was also like, he's coked out, and he's like, because when you're on coke, your emotions, like, you don't really have a full grip of your emotion, and so like he's coked out, and his friends are busting his brother's balls, and when I like stood up and like kicked the chair out of the way and, you know, start screaming at my buddies, it's like it was a really nice moment to see that, like, in the same way that Braden says to Kane, no one gets to kick my brother's ass except for me.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like Trace and Braden aren't so different. You know, they are cut from the same cloth. You know?
That's a good point though, because when you stood up for him, it's just like what you said. Like I could get on him, but y'all can't get on him.
Yeah.
It's
like, shut the fuck up. Like, and I've had that. You know, I've had that. Like, I can bust my brother's balls, but whenever someone else does, that's not gonna fly.
Yeah.
You know, if I find out that someone hurts my brother, you're hurting me.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not gonna stand for that. Yeah, that's family. You know, so it's like, I really like that they show those moments for Trace. It humanizes him.
Yeah, like, and even with Braden too, because when Kane took the watch, Braden was getting mad after that.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I cut your hand off. Like, he was getting, like, really standing up to Kane now, like, really turning up now. Yeah, that was good.
It's good writing. It's good writing.
Shout out to the writers.
That's right.
Shout out to the writers, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, we coming to a close of the interview, man. Thanks for pulling up. You know what I'm saying? You're a real one in person.
Thank
you. Know what I'm saying? Trace, we don't like Trace, but Corey, we rocking with Corey.
We love to hate Trace.
Yeah, we love to hate Trace, but we rocking with Corey, man.
Thank you.
Know what I'm saying? So like, just plug yourself. Tell them where to find you at Instagram, Twitter, whatever you want to shout out.
Yeah, man. I really need to change it, but it's Coco Jeacoma on all social media platforms. People call me Coco. My nickname's Coco, and so Coco Jeacoma. That's COCOJEACOCO. I've got music on Spotify. It's not great, but we're getting there. It's all stuff that I recorded during the pandemic on my laptop and like produced it myself and produced it with a buddy of mine, Ryan Loria in Florida, who's a producer and rapper. And so, you know, I've got my music out there, got Power, CW 4400. Hopefully you'll be seeing me on Broadway sometime soon.
Yeah.
Follow me on socials. Twitter, same thing, Coco Jeacoma. I gotta change that. And
PR, you gotta handle that. Publicist and all that, you gotta handle that.
Yeah, and besides that, you know, you see me on the street, send some love. And keep watching this show. keep supporting, keep showing love, keep going.
Of course.
Baby.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Keep going.
So what can they type in on Spotify to find everything?
Just Cory Jeacoma, CoryJeacoma.
Go tap in, man. You already know.
Yeah.
Business Moving on Instagram. You know what I'm saying BUSINESSMOVIN, no G. I'm saying
Never a G.
Never G, right? So Business Moving on Instagram, Business Moving on Twitter, Business is Moving on TikTok, YouTube Business Moving. You know what I'm saying? Love is Love podcast. You know what I'm saying? We got Trace in the building. We just keep going up. Everybody can't get on the show. You know what I'm saying? But Chase good down.
Thank you, man.
We out.